Hey guys, it's time to do our April box, Enjoy the Ride. You'll start out by setting aside your bicycle pieces, including the flowers and the word cutouts. Then you're going to select a color for the sign. I love white shiplap, so here I am with my chip brush doing a distressed look. As you can see, I'm not filling it in completely. I'm just kind of going left to right, making sure that some of the brown from the sign peeks through. Once that first coat dries, I like to do a second coat just to kind of make that white pop. That's completely optional. If you don't do a second coat, it will definitely even look more distressed. Next thing you're going to do is paint your cutouts. Decide which colors you're going to use, set your pieces aside, make sure you gently peel the tape off of those word cutouts. It is easier to paint if you keep it in the stencil for the enjoy the. Keep them in that stencil, and then that way it'll be a lot easier for you to use the sponge and go up and down. First thing I painted was the bicycle. I chose blue because blue is my favorite color, but I think green would also be a really adorable color for that bicycle. So do whatever works best for you. Here's my first coat, and I'm just dabbing up and down lightly with my sponge, and then I'm going to set it aside so that I can let it dry and I'll paint something else. I'm using black for the bicycle tires. Just use a second wedge, and then you are going to dab up and down very gently. Make sure that you're doing light coats. You can always go back and do a second coat. Make sure that those coats are light so that the paint does not go off the sides and down the sides and drip. So make sure that you do that first coat, then go back and do a second coat. I wanted to take a look and see how my bicycle was looking. I did the pedals, I did the wheels, and there's a tiny little piece that goes to that back tire. Make sure that you get that painted as well. Here I'm going back and I'm doing my second coat, and I'm even doing a little handlebar, and I did that in black. I liked the basket the way it was with that natural wood color, so I actually opted to not paint the basket. If you'd like to paint the basket, that is totally fine. And then I used that pretty peach color for my flowers, and I did a couple coats. So use a sponge, paint it up and down, make sure that you're sponging it, and then I have that really pretty spring green. I am in love with this color. And then use your sponge, dab it up and down. Make sure that you get those leaves painted and check the side that you're painting. One side does have the 3M tape and the other side is just the flat wood. Once your flowers are completely painted, this is me doing that second coat. Once they're painted and dry, what you're going to do is take the tip of your paintbrush and you're going to just dip it lightly in the yellow paint, and then you're just going to put a little dot in the middle. So just a tiny little dot in each petal, and you should be able to fill in that little circle. Now it's time to paint the letters. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the is a print font, so I did leave it in a stencil just to make it easier to paint. Remember to dab a little bit of paint on that sponge. Make sure that you do your first coat and just paint up and down very lightly so that the paint does not drip down the sides. If the letters come out of the stencil, no big deal. Just pop them back in. Sometimes they pop out for me as well, and then I just put them back in. And I make sure to do a couple coats just so it's nice and solid. 2 light coats is better than one big globby coat with paint going down the sides. So I did green for enjoy the, and then black for ride because I thought it was a good contrast with my blue bicycle, but you can do whatever colors you like. I'm sure it'll turn out great. Once your base sign has had enough time to dry and everything's done and ready, then you can go ahead and start your placement. I started with the letters. You do want to make sure that you start with the letters because if you start with the bicycle, it is going to be a little bit more difficult to use that stencil. So let's start with the enjoy the ride. So enjoy the, and place it where you want, and then gently peel back the 3M tape and then press it onto your sign. The 3M tape will allow it to stick. Once you have enjoy the on there, you can place your bicycle, kind of size it out where you want it. And then I did ride going at a slight slant because I thought it was super, super cute. But if you want it to be more straight, then that is fine. But I loved the look of Enjoy the and then the ride at a slant. Once you have everything placed where you want it, again, gently peel off that 3M tape and then press it down on your side. You're going to do the wheels. Make sure you don't forget that tiny piece for that back wheel. Make sure you do your pedal. Once your pedals, wheels, everything's on there, the basket, make sure that you peel gently the back of the floral. Make sure that you peel that tape on there, place it how you want, make sure that there's enough room. I kind of goofed and I put 2 green leaf sections a little too close and I wasn't able to fit them, so I had to peel it back off and replace them. So size it up before you stick it on the sign, otherwise you're going to pull a Sarah and it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Just make sure that you have enough room for your flowers and that you have enough room for the bases and the petal. All right, so it's time to do the banner, and the banner is going to coordinate with your Enjoy the Ride sign. The colors that were selected for the sign actually coordinate perfectly with that scrapbook paper, so everything flows together. I chose the colors peach, yellow, white for my pattern, and it goes super, super cute with the pop of that light green from the scrapbook paper. When you use your scrapbook paper, you want to make sure that you adhere it on a dry triangle. Make sure that that paint is dry. You're going to take a foam brush and do a very, very thin coat of the Mod Podge, and then you're going to gently press it on. You can use a credit card or something to press it down and make sure there's no bubbles. And then once it's on there and pressed, you'll do a coat of Mod Podge on the top as well and wait for it to dry. All right, guys, we're at the end of our project. I'm sure you are super excited because you are seeing how everything coordinates together, your sign, the scrapbook pieces, the colors. It's just so beautiful for spring and for Mother's Day. I just love this kit. What you're going to do now is go ahead and take the twine out, and you are going to string up your banner in whatever pattern that you have already chosen. String everything up through those holes and space it out accordingly. Make sure you display it, and don't forget to enjoy the ride.